Billahi ta'ala, correct your intentions. We're closing in on the end of this Aqidah of Al-Ghazali. I'm missing it already, as if it passed. I just want to read the sentence again for you. This one that I told you I want to come back to and check. Where the author says, Ma'na al-kalimati thaniyah, the meaning of the second statement. He means the second shahada. So he called the shahada kalima. So he called the shahada a kalima. Ma'na al-kalimati thaniya, the meaning of the second word, kalima means word. He means the shahada, the second shahada. So by calling it a kalima, he means a statement, an entire sentence, not just a single word. وَهِيَ الشَّهَادَةُ لِلرُّسُلِ بِالرِّسَالَةِ. That second statement, it is the testimony for the messengers with the message. That is, the second shahada, which is, as you know, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. This statement is in itself, Al-Ghazali is telling you, a testimony for all of the prophets. He means this is a testimony for belief in prophethood. If you believe in prophethood, means you believe in all of the prophets, and you cannot believe in a prophet without believing in all of them. If you deny any prophet who is for sure a prophet, then you don't believe in any of them. So we're not like the Jews who deny the prophethood of Jesus and Muhammad, nor the Christians who deny the prophethood of Muhammad, and some of them deny the prophethood of Jesus because they say that's not befitting. And actually, he's God's son, or he is God himself, not just a prophet. So that's a denial of his prophethood. That's blasphemy. And amongst the Christians are those who deny the prophethood of Adam also. So that's a sentence that I just wanted to repeat for you. We're going to start from here, where the author says, Rahimahullah, وأنه لا يتقبل إيمان عبد حتى يؤمن بما أخبر به بعد الموت. And God does not accept a slave's faith until he believes in what Muhammad told about after death. Whatever Muhammad spoke about or informed about to be what happens after death, without believing in that, then Allah will not accept one's faith. Because he's a disbeliever in something that the Prophet conveyed. Disbelieving in anything that the Prophet conveyed, alayhi salatu wasalam, it is complete disbelief. It's not possible for belief and disbelief to reside together. One container cannot be a vessel for both belief and disbelief. You are the container, you are the vessel. So, if you have belief, then there's no way that you could have belief while you have disbelief too. You would only be a disbeliever. Whereas if you have disbelief, you might add more disbelief to that disbelief and compile kufr upon your kufr. What did Allah say in the Quran about the Jews? أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. Do you believe in some of the book and disbelieve in some of it? That means you're a whole kafir. You believe in some of it and disbelieve in some of it, you're a whole kafir. Complete kafir. So one's faith, a slave's faith, a slave of God's faith is not accepted until he believes Muhammad about what he told about concerning after death. وَأَوَّلُهُ سُؤَالُ مُنْكَرٍ وَنَكِيرٍ. And the first of that is the interrogation of the duo of angels, Munkar and Nakir. وَهُمَا شَخْصَانِ مَهِيبَانِ هَائِلَانِ. And those two are two angels, shakhsan. So shakhs usually would translate as person. Two persons, two figures, if you want, two real angels who shall come to you in their forms as they are. Yani, they will come to you in person. Mahibani ha'ilan, dreadful and frightening. Yani, very scary for someone if Allah did not make his heart firm upon seeing them, then he shall be tortured by the mere sight of them. يُقْعِدَانِ الْعَبْدَ فِي قَبْرِهِ سَوِيًّا. They sit up the slave in his grave straight. They sit him up straight in his grave. They come to his grave and open his grave and sit him up in his grave. ذَا رُوحٍ وَجَسَدٍ. In soul and body. Yani, one is sat up in his grave straight as one who has soul and body. Yani, in soul and body, he shall be like that. فَيَسْأَلَانِهِ عَنِ التَّوْحِيدِ وَالرِّسَالَةِ. And then they interrogate him concerning monotheism and messengership. وَيَقُولَانِ لَهُ. And they say to him, مَا رَبُّكَ. Who is your Lord? وَمَا دِينُكَ. And what is your religion? وَمَن نَبِيُّكَ. And who is your prophet? وَهُمَا فَتَّانَ الْقَبْرِ. وَهُمَا فَتَّانَ الْقَبْرِ. Those two are the interrogators of the grave. Fattan. That means the two who have or come with, the two who come with fitna. The two who come with the fitna. Maybe the word fitna to you means trouble. You would say, don't come with that fitna. But fitna originally is a test. The fitna is imtihan. The fitna is the mihna. The mihna is the imtihan, test. And these two are the fatan of the grave, the two testers, if you want. The two who come with the fitna of the grave, and the fitna of the grave is the interrogation of the grave. So they are the two interrogators of the grave. وَسُؤَالُهُمَا أَوَّلُ فِتْنَةٍ بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ. And their interrogation is the first trial after death. وَأَن يُؤْمِنَ بِعَذَابِ الْقَبْرِ. And to believe in the torture of the grave. وَأَنَّهُ حَقٌّ. And that it is real. That's clear. You've learned about that before. We must believe in the torture of the grave. Denying the torture of the grave is blasphemy. The torture of the grave is different from the interrogation of the grave. The interrogation is one thing, and the torture of the grave is another thing. And the torture of the grave is contrary to the bliss of the grave, the enjoyment of the grave. But the torture of the grave, its evidence is overwhelming. The evidence about the torture of the grave is overwhelming. In fact, successive mass report. And it is known in the religion by necessity that there is a such thing as torture of the grave. So whoever denies it is a kafir, unless he's a new Muslim or like a new Muslim. وحكمه عدل على الجسم والروح على ما يشاء. And its judgment is that it is justice on the body and the soul. على ما يشاء, according to what he wills. وأن يؤمن بالميزان, and to believe in the scale, ذي الكفتين واللسان, the scale that has two pans and it has uh, a beam, two pans and a beam. Yani, in the first place, it's pole that goes up vertically. It has a beam that goes across horizontally, and from this horizontal beam, there are two pans. وصفته في العظم أنه مثل طبقات السماوات والأرض, and its description in enormity, hugeness, is that it is like the levels of the heavens and the earth. Very huge. But it's not a necessary conviction to believe in uh, some very exact descriptions of this scale that came in some reports. What is exactly your obligation? Exactly your obligation is to believe that there is a scale, a real one, it's not some sort of metaphor, in which the deeds shall be weighed somehow. If you believe that, you fulfilled your obligation, and it is huge. توزن به الأعمال بقدرة الله تعالى. The deeds are weighed upon it, or by it, by God's power. Exalted is He. The deeds are weighed upon it in terms of your obligation. Then, if you said, whatever way that is, I believe in it, then you fulfilled your obligation. والسنج يومئذ مثاقيل الذر والخردل تحقيقا لتمام العدل. وتوضح صحائف الحسنات في صورة حسنة في كفة النور. So توضح means to be made clear, to be made clear. The pages of good deeds are made clear in nice appearance. It means are given. The good deeds that are documented in the pages of good deeds are given forms, nice forms, is what he's saying. The pages of the good deeds will be clarified in nice appearance, in the pan of light. It means the good deeds, those that were documented in the pages that the angels were transcribing, the good deeds will be given form, some volume, and then put into the pan of light. So this is saying, Al-Ghazali is presenting this issue of some details that are not necessary for you to be certain this is the way you must believe, or else you're not a believer. Meaning, so this the case that the good deeds are transformed, are given forms. You might not believe that. Some scholars said it is the pages themselves that are weighed, and not that the deeds are given forms. And some said the people will be weighed. All of these sayings based on evidence. And it is said that it's possible that all of these happen for different people, that the deeds would be given forms in some cases, and that the pages themselves will be weighed in some cases, and that the people will be weighed in some cases. So Al-Ghazali is presenting what yani, is preponderant according to him. But like we mentioned, if you believe in the scale and that the deeds shall be weighed somehow, then you have believed. He said, فيثقل بها الميزان على قدر درجاتها عند الله بفضل الله. Then, when the good deeds that were written in the pages are given nice appearances and put into the pan of light, then the scale shall be heavy because of them in accordance with their level to God, in accordance with the level of those deeds to God, by God's generosity. Because some deeds are bigger than others, more rewardable than others, or if you want, heavier than others. Some deeds are lighter than others in terms of being weighed. So Al-Ghazali is saying that each deed is going to be heavy in the pan in accordance with its rank to God. And don't look down on any small good deed, because every good deed, no matter how small, will contribute to your pan of good deeds going down and your pan of bad deeds going up. And also, you don't know how valuable a good deed that you do might be. Something that you thought was something insignificant might have been what rescues you in the afterlife. وتطرح صحائف السيئات في صورة قبيحة في كفة الظلمة. He says, then the pages of the bad deeds are tossed in the image in some hideous appearance in the pan of darkness. فيخف بها الميزان بعدل الله. So then, because of those, then the pan of good deeds would be lighter by God's justice. What's the case of the kafir? He will only have bad deeds. No good deeds that he did will count in the afterlife. The believer will have good deeds and bad deeds. If the good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, you go to paradise with no punishment. If the bad deeds outweigh the good deeds, then you are under the will of God. If He willed, He will punish you, and if He willed, He will forgive you. And if the good deeds and bad deeds were equal, then you will be made to wait on the wall while others enter paradise before you. And you see them entering paradise, longing, wishing you could be there. And you also see the people of hell seeking refuge with Allah from making you amongst them. وأن يؤمن بأن الصراط حق. MashaAllah. This copy has a lot of issues. وأن يؤمن بأن الصراط حق. And to believe that the bridge is true. وهو جسر ممدود على متن جهنم. It is a bridge extended over the surface of hell. أحد من السيف وأدق من الشعرة. Sharper than a sword and finer than a hair. And this description here is not the real description of the bridge. Nor is it confirmed from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is definitely not obligatory to believe in the bridge in this way. That it is sharper than a sword and finer than a hair. Rather, it is wide, it is broad and smooth, slippery. تزل عليه أقدام الكافرين بحكم الله سبحانه. The feet of the blasphemers slip from it by God's judgment. Glorified is He. Yes, because they shall come to the bridge. Even the kafir will be made to cross the bridge, meaning to attempt. And he will be unable to do so. He will slip off from the beginning and fall into hell. فَتَهْوِي بِهِمْ إِلَى النَّارِ. And then it makes them tumble into the fire with a capital F. وَتَثْبُتُ عَلَيْهِ أَقْدَامُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And the feet of the believers are firm upon it. That's general statement. That is in accordance with their deeds also. تَجْرِي بِهِمْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ. The Prophet said, it is their deeds that make them run across the bridge, those believers. So some will run, and some will crawl, and some will walk, and some will fly over the bridge. And amongst those who fly over the bridge, some of them fly as fast as the bolt of lightning, and some of them fly as fast as the blink of an eye. That's very fast. So you're on one side of the bridge, and then you'll be on the other side of the bridge as fast as it takes you to blink your eye. Subhanallah. And that's going over hell, and hell is very big. That judgment day is something amazing. فَيُسَاقُونَ إِلَى دَارِ الْقَرَارِ. And then those believers shall be driven to the abode of settlement, paradise. Yani, if they make it to the other side. Believers will fall into hell also. But no believer goes to the bottom of hell, and no believer stays in hell forever. وَأَنْ يُؤْمِنَ بِالْحَوْضِ الْمَوْرُودِ. And to believe in the approached basin. The approached basin. حوض محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Muhammad's basin, or lake if you want. يشرب منه المؤمنون قبل دخول الجنة وبعد جواز الصراط. The believers drink from it before entering the garden and after passing the bridge. That's correct. Here Al-Ghazali took the right saying that it's after crossing the bridge, not before. So, yes, after crossing the bridge, you don't go right into paradise. You must stop first to drink from the basin. Then you will go into paradise. من شرب منه شربة لم يظمأ بعدها أبدا. Anyone who drinks a single drink from it shall never be thirsty again. عرضه مسيرة شهر. It is as wide as a month. ماؤه أشد بياضا من اللبن. Its water is whiter than milk. وأحلى من العسل. And sweeter than honey. حوله أباريق عددها بعدد نجوم السماء. Around it are pitchers. أباريق. Abariq is plural of ibriq. So that's the word he used. Well, we learned that there's cups there. Cups as many as the stars of the sky. He says pitchers as many as the stars of the sky. فيه ميزابان يصبان فيه من الكوثر. And for this basin, he says, there are two pipes that dump into the basin from the river of Al Kawthar. So, in paradise, there is a river. It's called Al Kawthar. This river flows throughout paradise, and that's Prophet Muhammad's river. And it empties out outside of paradise. There are two pipes that come out of paradise, and it empties out through pipes. These pipes empty into the basin. So that's the source of the water of the basin. That's why some scholars, when they talk about the basin, they say the evidence for the basin is in the saying of Allah. Where is it in the Quran? Is there evidence in the Quran for this basin? They say yes. When Allah says, Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. O Muhammad, indeed we have given you the Kawthar. Then you might say, but doesn't say anything about the basin in there, in the surah, which that's true. But the hadiths about this Kawthar, the hadiths about this Kawthar mention how it empties out into the basin from pipes or a pipe or two. وأن يؤمن بالحساب, and to believe in the deeds being presented on Resurrection Day. What deeds are those? Those, all your deeds you did since the time you reached puberty. Not since the time you became 18, since the time you reached puberty. And the angels started recording everything you do, whether you realize that or not. If not, you're going to be surprised on Judgment Day to get a book that you didn't know was being recorded on you. وَتَفَاوُتِ النَّاسِ فِيهِ, and to believe in the people's varying situations concerning the presentation of their deeds. إِلَى مُنَاقَشٍ فِي الْحِسَابِ, there are varying levels concerning the intensity of the presentation of deeds. Because some people, the presentation of their deeds will be difficult for them. And for some people, the presentation of their deeds will be easy for them. Who's going to have rough time on Judgment Day when their deeds are presented to them? The one who's questioned about every single thing he did in his life. The one who gets questioned on Judgment Day about every single thing he did in his life. Everything. This one will be punished. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man nuqisha al-hisab udhib." Anyone who is relentlessly interrogated about everything he did in his life on Judgment Day shall be punished. وَإِلَى مُسَامَحٍ فِيهِ, and some people will have some pardoning on Judgment Day concerning the presentation of their deeds. وَإِلَى مَنْ يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ, to the extent that some shall enter the garden with no judgment. Some shall enter the garden with no judgment. This means after very easy judgment. That there is something for those who enter the garden with no judgment. There is something that they will not escape, though, which is hearing the speech of God in the afterlife. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Ma minkum min ahadin illa sayukallimuhu rabbuhu yawm al-qiyamah." There is not one of you but that his Lord shall speak to him on resurrection day. Laysa baynahu wa baynahu tarjuman, without an interpreter between him and his Lord. So in this hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not exclude anyone from hearing the speech of God on resurrection day. So this Arabic word here, hisab, it has two meanings. Sometimes it means getting your deeds presented to you, your book of deeds presented to you, having your book of deeds presented to you. That's called hisab. Then you're going to open your book of deeds and look in there, and you're going to see all of your deeds and see all what you've forgotten. And that's called hisab. And something else is called hisab, which is hearing the speech of God on Judgment Day. وَهُمُ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ, and those who enter the garden without judgment, those are the ones who have close status. Yani, they have high status. فَيَسْأَلُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى مَنْ شَاءَ مِنَ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ عَنْ تَبْلِيغِ الرِّسَالَةِ, and then God, exalted is He, shall ask whom He willed amongst the prophets about their delivery of the message. So not because they're in trouble, but so that they will testify that they did deliver the message. وَمَنْ شَاءَ مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ عَنْ تَكْذِيبِ الْمُرْسَلِينَ, and He shall question whom He willed amongst the disbelievers about their denial of the prophets and messengers. وَيَسْأَلُ الْمُبْتَدِعَةَ عَنِ السُّنَّةِ, and He shall ask the heretics about the authentic prophetic way. وَيَسْأَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ عَنِ الْأَعْمَالِ, and He shall ask the Muslims about their deeds. Subhanallah. Very nice. So, He shall ask the Muslims about their deeds. He means here the Sunni Muslims, because He just excluded the innovators. The Sunni Muslims shall be asked about their deeds. Uh, this means they don't have a sin concerning their convictions. Their sins are not in their convictions. That's why it's important to die with the right belief. That's where you definitely don't want to have a sin, where your convictions are. You want your convictions to be pure. And that's what He meant when He said Allah will question the heretics about the Sunnah. This here refers to the convictions, the sin that's connected to their convictions. That's a major sin. At least a major sin, if not blasphemy, bid'ah, innovation, in creed, heresy, is not less than a major sin if it does not reach the level of blasphemy altogether. And He said the kuffar will be asked about their belying the messengers. Yani, they're going to be asked about their blasphemy. So that's very interesting progression there in this statement of Al-Ghazali here. I just went backwards for you. So he said, Allah Ta'ala will ask whomever He wills amongst the prophets about the conveyance of the message. They're not going to be asked about blasphemy. They don't commit blasphemy. They're going to be asked about their delivery of the message. And He asks whomever He willed amongst the kuffar about their belying the messengers. So they're going to be asked about their blasphemy. They are kuffar. And He asks the heretics about the sunnah. So they didn't necessarily reach the level of blasphemy. But the most severe thing that they have against them is their heresy. Heresy, which is a major sin of a different level. It's a major sin that doesn't have the same pace as major sin, which is merely misbehavior. Sometimes major sin is misbehavior, but these ones, their major sin is their convictions. He will ask the innovators about the prophetic way, and He will ask the Muslims about the deeds. Yani question. I'm saying ask. The word question goes better here though. In all these spots. He will question them. وأن يؤمن بإخراج الموحدين من النار, and to believe in the monotheists being released from the fire, capital F, بعد الانتقام, after the punishment, yani after getting whatever punishment God will to inflict on them, a long one or a short one, all of what they deserve or not getting all of what they deserve. حتى لا يبقى في جهنم موحد بفضل الله تعالى, until there does not remain in hell any monotheist by God's grace. Exalted is He. فلا يخلد في النار موحد, and therefore no monotheist dwells forever in the fire. So that's his choice of words. And we do know that when speaking exactly, there is a difference between a monotheist merely, a mere monotheist, and a Muslim. With the meaning that every Muslim is a monotheist, but not every monotheist is a Muslim. Which means then that since there is no third ground between being a Muslim and a kafir, that some monotheists are kuffar actually. So it's not the mere monotheism that saves a person from hell. And Al-Ghazali does not mean that. But he's using monotheist here like a synonym for Muslim. Monotheist here, he means a person of Tawheed. So that's assumed to be a Muslim. But with exactness, though, not necessarily a Muslim. Wallahu a'lam, we'll stop there. And I think next week probably will be done this creed of Al-Ghazali. MashaAllah. As you can see here, there's just a few lines left. That's nice. And I already have plans for what we want to do after this, inshallah. Do you have any question I can answer for you?
When you were explaining the size of the hold, Masafatil Shah, is that the journey that takes 1 month like that long, or what does it mean?
Masira to Shahr. So Masira.
You say Masira, okay, I don't. Okay.
In Arabic it says Masira, but maybe I said distance. So
Okay.
masira means the walking time,
Okay, that's okay.
but not even necessarily walking actually. So uh, one can take here a general meaning that it takes a month to cross this
Mm-hmm.
um, sea.
Yes.
It takes a month. A month at what speed? Walking speed, sailing speed, flying speed? I don't know.
الله يعلم. Okay. Got it. بارك الله فيكم.
I mean, wafiqo. Yeah. Because masira comes from the word sayr. So sayr, we can look into it as if it means walking originally. Yasiru. But does it? I need to check it. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك